Marvel Rivals starts strong with solid numbers and high expectations. Grant Taylor here once again over at Insider Gaming. Marvel Rivals was released yesterday, and it wasted no time skyrocketing up the charts with reckless abandon. On Steam, the game managed to secure a whopping I'll back that up. Whopping peak player count of 444,000 users, marking the game as one of the most successful free-to-play titles on the platform right off the rip. That performance continued throughout the day and going into the weekend, with player numbers, streaming figures, and social sentiment around the game continued to grow heading into the weekend. Dude, you and I were all over this game all weekend long, right? Marvel Rivals is perhaps the most potent Overwatch competitor to ever surface, considering Deadlock isn't here yet anyway. Kind of, right? I guess, yeah. And Deadlock's different. Dude, Deadlock is straight up just a different game. In the superhero-themed title, players are treated to the classic hero shooter elements found in an arguably polarizing way by Overwatch. But the roster here is entirely different with the recognizable Marvel heroes. That's the biggest catch. From Iron Man to the Punisher, from Groot to Storm, there's a plethora of heroes to choose from. Dude, having a blast, right? I'm like, yo, I can play this character, I can play that hero, I can play this hero, I can play that hero, and you know them all, right? I think that's the biggest thing. The reviews could be better, but most of the negative press seems centered around Marvel Rivals not doing enough to distance itself from Overwatch. But that's the kind of point of the game. It's an alternative option and a competitor. It'll be tough to replace Overwatch if it wasn't a slick-like commit game. I don't know what to do. I'm just reading what's there. NetEase, the developer behind Marvel Rivals, has already revealed some innovative features that are going to help the game stand out. For instance, just days ago, the team stressed the season-based battle passes won't be time-bound. So they'll be there for you to continue to unlock as you go along, right? You'll be able to unlock missed rewards after the end of the season, which is a nice little touch. So it never goes away. Your money, dude, will always be there until you get all the unlocks, which I like. Because how many times you've gone into a battle pass, man, I didn't finish it this month, there goes my money, right? Like which is kind of where I'm worried right now with when I talk about Predecessor on a daily basis. Hey, this battle pass is a grind right now. I don't know if I'm going to reach the end. And if I don't reach the end, which is the coolest rewards, dude, you just lose them. At least here in Marvel Rivals, we don't get that.
Yeah, I like what they're doing with the battle pass, right? I think that mainly applies to the paid version, right? I'm not sure about the free version, but yeah, you pay for it, you're like, oh man, I missed out. Boom, I can just keep going. So yeah, launch has been pretty great. Not too many issues, which is, I mean, unfortunately in 2024, if you just launch without like your server crashing, it's a good game at this point. So I like where they're going there. I do think we're on to that next step, right? We talk about it all the time, right? Throne and Liberty, great example, right? Early numbers, crazy off the charts. You go look now, a couple months later, they're still about 30 to 50,000 range, which is still respectable, right? But you've got to keep people around. And I think that is what we have to see from Marvel Rivals next. When are we going to get that next hero announcement, right? Season 0 supposedly supposed to be a shorter, almost like a beta season, right? To get people introduced. So we'll have Season 1. Who's the next hero? Are we going to get new maps? I'll be honest, I'm only about 20 hours in or so, and I'm already kind of sick and tired of all the maps, right? There's about only 5 of them, and I'm like, I played this one. I don't like this one. I play this one. I play this one. So right, feels like we maybe could have added a few more maps into the game. So I'm curious to see kind of where we go from there. The other thing, are we going to get roll queue like we see in Overwatch, right? Right now it's just, hey, you lock whatever you want. And I feel like most people's experience, probably the same as you and I, Drew, if you don't have a full party of 6, those randoms are just locking DPS. They don't care about you. They're rarely going to lock tank. They're never going to lock support. And that's what I've seen a lot of complaints where people go in and all of a sudden, if you don't lock tank or you don't lock support, you're just playing 60 DPS and you're getting steamrolled. So are they going to add Force 222 like Overwatch? Those are the next evolutions that we got to keep an eye on. But strong start. Can they keep it going into January, into February, Drew? That's the next part if they want to take down Overwatch.
Well, next year's heating up, dude. Like the list of games that we have coming up and indies as well. Like we got a couple things that we're working on over here that we're about to announce for indies moving forward into next year. And I'm telling you, like the list is going to be huge next year. How do you keep that Marvel Rivals community going then and not pulled away into the month of February with the amount of plethora of games over there? Because it is going to be ridiculous. And then the indies continue, and then other games keep dropping. GTA 6 is dropping. Like, to keep the momentum going is always the biggest problem when it comes to this game service model, and then we get it all the time. Overwatch, again, though, if you can follow that model to an extent, they're doing it well. Like, they're continuing to keep that community going, even though they've gone from Overwatch 1, which had a stronger community than I would say with Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 seemed to be a definite misstep. I'm very curious if they can figure that out and how they just keep going. Again, this is their first game. The first game starts off strong because why? Because it's Marvel. That's why.
Yep.
But can you keep us going along, right? I want to give a shout out to our PR team that we work with Marvel Rivals. They hooked me up, dude. I got Wolverine's classic skin.
Nice.
Fantastic. Dude, like that is, I'm like, this is sick. So yeah, I really do appreciate that. And that makes me feel like, yo, that's my Wolverine, right? From back in the day. Who's next? What do I want to buy? Take a look at the Battle Pass. Battle Pass is cool. There's a whole story theme in there too. Like I'm not doing a review yet, but it's coming. It's something we're working on again. But it is, how do you keep everybody coming back to your game when more games keep dropping, right? They're gonna have to innovate. They're gonna have to drop new maps. They're gonna have to get in new game modes, right? Can they separate that? Do we focus on, dude, yesterday I played, I don't know how many times without any support. Like, okay, now I'm going into support, right? Because we need somebody to be able to help us last the fight because we're getting steamrolled. So yeah, do they start locking that in, right? Is that another game mode within itself though? Or do they, it's just something that they implement, go, okay, hey, you guys are doing this wrong. This is how you're supposed to do it. Maybe, and then just lock people in, right? Very curious to see the future of Marvel Rivals, but right now, dude, strong start.